Mr. Slink Johnson, welcome to your first one-on-one with Hype Plus, also known as Comedy Hype. How are you doing?
I'm well, sir. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure, doing good work and content with Comedy Hype, man. Because I appreciate what you guys bring to the culture and to comedy, man. Your perspective, your view. You're a comics news network. I like that.
Right. Now, this is definitely a full circle moment. We've known you for quite some time. We've been documenting you for quite some time before even meeting you. So I'd love to get into some of your backstory. Just how we like to start it off, where you from and as far as like the city, and let's talk about that.
Oh man, well I was born in a little small town in Arkansas named Dumas, where I lived till I was about 10 years old. And, my mother relocated us to Los Angeles, and, I grew up in LA from 10 on up. I started fifth grade and, went to junior high, high school there, you know what I'm saying? I was born in the South and got my game in the West, you know what I'm saying? The West is what I call home. But I'm a citizen of Earth. You know what I'm saying? I feel at home wherever I go. I enjoy here in Atlanta. It's always warmth and hospitality and genuine people. So, wherever genuine people are, I'm at home.
No doubt. Now at 10, what was school like, with you going from Arkansas to LA? Did you notice that was a big shift as far as the culture?
You know what? I knew that I didn't really understand the shift in the culture because I was so young. I was a kid, and still kind of forming. So moving to Los Angeles was definitely wondrous. It was a lot going on, but I think for me, I was the perfect time because as a child, you're a sponge. You know what I'm saying? You're soaking up so much. So I feel like I got acclimated and got with the movement pretty quick
Yeah.
because again, you're still growing, you're still developing, and it was a great thing for me, I believe.
Now, how tall are you? If people that never met you, like how tall are you?
I'm 6'7".
6'7". So the next question is, you probably always get, did you play basketball?
Hell no, man. People ask me all the time, did I play ball? I wish I did. Look, I got 2 left feet and 2 broke knees. Look, I'm clumsy as a motherfucker, man. I always been clumsy, and it took me a long time to be able to acknowledge that and come to terms that I'm clumsy. But I've never been an athlete. Sports weren't never my thing. When I went to YA, which is California Youth Authority, juvenile penitentiary for those who don't know in California. When I went to YA, I started playing ball a little bit because it wasn't much else to do. And you sitting on the dorm with a bunch of niggas teasing you about your height. So I tried playing a little bit. It was cool. I enjoyed a little bit of basketball in YA, but no, it's never really been my thing though, because I figure the older I get, the more I realize I don't really care. I like football better than basketball, and it's weird because I don't really care for contact sports like that. But football, you got on pass. I don't like basketball because you got to guard and defend a nigga. Niggas be all sweaty all up on you and shit, rubbing balls and chest. So, nigga, get the fuck off me, nigga. Here, nigga, just dunk, nigga. I'm just gonna move out the way, nigga. Go ahead.
So what's like, what are the things people have told you about your height? Like, has there been any like things that get annoying or like bothersome at times?
Oh yeah, tall for nothing. Oh, you tall for nothing. But the thing about it is this: when people say that shit, why you don't play ball, nigga? Why you don't play ball? You ever heard, nigga? Google Muggsy Bogues, nigga. Nate Robinson, nigga. Them niggas is under 6 feet. Google them niggas. Why you don't play ball, nigga? Why you don't play soccer? You thick leg motherfucker. You strong ankle ass nigga. Why don't you kick the ball or something? Why you a goddamn tax attorney, nigga? Shut your mouth.
So there was a story that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar talked about with Wilt Chamberlain. Have you heard of this story?
Yes.
I'm gonna just play it just for context and energy.
Like took me under his wing. Some of the things that Will did sometimes bothered me. I got on an elevator with Will, and as the elevator's going down, some guy gets on and says, "Oh wow, how's the weather up there?" He said that to Will. Will spat on the dude and said, "It's raining." I was like, "Oh my god, what?"
Man, when you first saw that, what was your reaction? Did you think it was clever?
I loved it, yes. I thought it was, hey, man, coming from a cat like Wilt, what I know of him, and his legacy, Wilt was unapologetically black. He was unapologetically man, you know what I mean? And Will didn't give a fuck. Yeah, I laugh like a motherfucker. Sometimes people ask some dumbass questions. How's the weather up there? Yeah, it's raining, bitch. You want to ask a dumbass
You don't
question?
think? I mean, that would been messed up if the dude was like a genuine fan. Like if I was a genuine fan of Slink Johnson, like
I agree. And you know what? And I totally agree with that, because I was going to go into that. If motherfuckers genuine,
yeah,
that wouldn't necessarily be a cool thing. But at the same time, you don't know what kind of day Wilt was having.
yeah,
And I don't think a lot of times fans, and I ain't going to say genuine fans, because a genuine fan would understand
yeah.
that, you
You
might
don't
not
say
be
nothing
having a
like
good
that or
day.
something.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But fans in general probably don't always understand that the celebrities and public figures are people too, and they subject to having bad days. And everybody has had something said to them that was just stupid as fuck. So at that moment, that man asked him Wilt about the weather with some stupid ass shit, and Wilt just dealt with it the way he thought to. I would never do that. However, it was
What would
definitely,
you have done if someone say, "Hey, how's the weather up there?" What's Slink's response to that?
oh man, I would say hazy. There's a whole lot of weed smoke up here, man. You know what I'm talking about? I try to be cool with supporters personally, man. It's not often at all where, supporters or fans annoy me unless they just trolling. Now that's a whole nother thing, but it's not often. I'm appreciative that people come up and offer support or kind words or express that they fuck with your craft, man. Because I say that often because in this culture, not comedy in particular, but in this hip hop uh, pop culture we live in, especially for blacks, brothers, men are so homophobic. It's hard to tell a nigga you like him. It's hard to, sometimes you can have all the dudes work, all dudes albums, movies, or whatever, and you see him somewhere and you won't say nothing to him. Cause again, that's nigga. I ain't finna say none of that nigga. Me personally, man, I recognize that and I understand that. So when anybody, especially guys, come holler at me and show me support, man, I appreciate it. And I implore, man, if you fuck with me, say it, my nigga. I appreciate it. Fuck all that old, I ain't hollered at that nigga shit, whatever. If you fuck with me, I appreciate it. That's why I do it. You know what I'm saying? And I just appreciate it because it's a lot of times it's hard for a brother to come tell you, hey man, I like your shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hey man, you dope. I fucked with you on that. And but they do for me, and I appreciate that, man. That's
It
love,
made me
man.
think about I just watched this interview with a young rapper named Pac-Man. He's with All Money In.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was talking about like the politics of LA that, some of the people they don't show love. They won't show you love like other I guess people in LA compared to somewhere there like Atlanta.
right.
Is that like true?
Well, I would say so. Yeah, shout out to Pac-Man. I would say so, man. Definitely, people show love differently, and you gotta understand, like, I understand where Pac-Man coming from totally, because when you dealing in your city, you subject to the politics and the things that happen in that city. So you're gonna have certain people who might not believe in you the same way as somebody from another city would. You know what I'm saying? Just like the age-old adage, they ain't gonna love you until they ain't gonna love you in LA till they love you in New York. And that's just how it is. You could be doing your thing at home and niggas won't really acknowledge you or give it up for you like that because again, they feel they feel themselves just like you. Why him? When they went to school with you or know you around or know you from hanging around or whatever, it's just weird. It's just that homophobia, man. But this nigga, fuck all that, nigga. If I fuck with you, I fuck with you. I'm gonna tell you personally, But yeah, it's definitely a very, what's the word I want to look for? A very, very interesting thing, the way people show their support in LA versus everywhere else. You know what I'm saying?
So just a second ago, we talked about Will Chamberlain. One thing about Will Chamberlain is the number 20,000. Supposedly and allegedly, we'll just say that he slept with 20,000 people or women. Let's be clear. I don't want to put that on his name. 20,000 women. One, upon research, it seemed like that was just a number he threw out there to kind of help publicize the book. But is that even possible?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because you're talking about, when you say slept with, let's be honest and say we're not talking about sleeping. We're not talking about taking an 8-hour sleep with somebody. We're talking about having sex with.
Right.
Now, at that time, you're talking about, I don't know how many years his career span in the NBA. And from college on, the guy's been an amazing talent from long before the time he became famous.
Okay.
So again, I believe he probably was knocking down a lot of women, probably 2 or 3 a day sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And that adds up. That definitely adds up over time, man. Just say the guy go out and he do 80. Well, how many games per year they was doing back then?
Can you move my car?
How many?
Probably like 60.
Whatever the amount. Just say game nights. He knocking down three a night. You know what I'm saying? And when you talking about slept with, it don't have to mean a whole long time. He probably could have just stuck his dick in about just enough to just to get the job done. So yeah, I believe it's definitely.
I just find it just feels like that's a lot of energy, man.
It is, man. I think that's way more than I would want to manage personally. However, I believe it definitely can be done.
It's 365 days.
And just say times 3 women. Just say he had 3 women every day.
3 women every day.
For 365. So that's at least 965, 130, 195. That's 1095. 1,095 women.
You can do that for 20 years.
20 years. And just say 3 is a low number. Just say, he was at the height of his sexual prowess and taking 4, 5. And again, he might be counting where he didn't necessarily complete the mission, but he went in. He probably didn't necessarily complete the ball, but he went in. And it do it all mean vaginal intercourse? It could mean head. He could have got a whole lot of fellatio at that time. So I would say that qualifies as
a sexual encounter.
experience, yeah.
Kind of shifting out of that back to your story. So we didn't play basketball. So what were some of the things that you first gravitated towards as far as the arts or just creatively?
Oh man, one of my first. I've always been creative from the from the time I can remember. Man, I did a lot of drawing. I was really into art. Like most children, like art. But I think as a child, I was reading books about it and studying comic book art and things of that nature. So my first love was drawing and art. And then I kind of just, I tried all kinds of stuff. I like outdoor shit. I even like archery at one point. When I was young, I tried archery a little bit. Shit, I liked a lot of shit, but I've been mostly on the arts, visual performing arts, you know what I mean? I've always been a class clown. Did a couple of plays in school. I kind of always dug that shit, acting and,
So I guess on my end, what I'm trying to get at is, when did comedy become a thing? When did you feel like, oh, I could probably make a profession out of this?
Oh man, that thought came years ago. I probably, that thought came, the first time I saw Eddie Murphy, Delirious.
Okay.
I fell in love with, I don't remember if it was Delirious or Raw, to be honest with you, but it was Eddie Murphy was the catalyst for me that made me feel like, not necessarily I can do this, but yo, that's dope. Like, it's dope to be a comedian and stand and command a large crowd's attention, and that's dope. Like I saw myself being that, but I never thought like that's what I want to do. But I'll be dope. I'll do that,
Yeah.
But it kind of just came for me through my personality. I've always been a class clown. I've always been the jokester. I've always been a bagger. Like we say in LA, you play the dozens, you Jones and this shit. I've always been one of those kind of guys. And one thing kind of led to another. My first foray into entertainment was hip hop and rap. I was signed to Too Short as a rapper.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That was my first aspiration of entertainment.
How old were you then?
I started back in '86. Been going hard since '94. I'll just say since '94.
Okay. I mean, I asked because it's like, were you hear stories of like Usher linking up with Diddy when he was young to kind of like groom him into like the business, with Too Short being the man that he is.
I met Short. I was about 24 when I met. No.
Early 20s?
Yeah, early 20s.
Okay, so it wasn't like you was a kid or nothing like that.
No, not at all.
Okay.
And meeting Short was something that damn near was gonna have to happen because his first cousin is my homeboy, like from the Sandbox. His first cousin is my first cousin now.
Okay.
We homies from the Sandbox, and Eric, shout out to Eric, my nigga Sideways. He introduced me to Short. Again, I've always been a rapper, the joke. I've always been a jokester, the class clown. And I always, kind of rapping, clowning around. But, years went by and my homeboy seen that I was rapping, I was serious, because he didn't want to take me to Short on no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? When he seen that I was really doing it, making music, going to the studio, writing all the time, he was like, now you ready? And, he introduced me to Short. And I got a chance to work with him and, man, shout out to Too Short, man. That's such a good dude, man. I love that dude to death, man. He showed me so much, man. He took me around the country on tour, had me in rooms I never thought I'd be in, man. Short Dog, man, that's my boy, man. He's an amazing dude, man. So shout out to him, man. That's a good nigga, man. Just a good nigga.
Now, the first time I was familiar with you, or you came up on our radar, was the work you were doing with Aaron McGruder on the Boondocks. But it was more so those skits y'all was doing online.
Yeah.
Like, what was that whole movement about? Like, what was going on? Because that was before, that was kind of like around the Funny or Die era, I think, too.
That was I want to say a little bit before that, actually. But yeah, right.
Honestly, yeah.
Aaron, being the visionary he is, the genius he is, Aaron created the Super Rumble Mix Show, which was a sketch comedy show that he created for YouTube. But unbeknownst to me, he was really grooming those shows and creating something that he, would end up turning into Black Jesus for one. And some of those other sketches, kind of see which ones is gonna hit, And the Super Rumble Mix Show as a whole was a great thing. A lot of fans gravitated towards that, but Black Jesus was one of those ones that kind of stuck, and Adult Swim had been watching, paying attention to it, I guess, from the beginning. And through Aaron's relationship with Adult Swim, it became a television show.
Yeah.
So, again, it started as sketches. I didn't, when we were doing the sketches originally, I had no idea that it would go to television. I was just doing some shit, my guy. I was just happy to be doing some shit. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even about so much the money or dreams of, television, the dreams of fame and fortune. It was like, I was just doing shit, having some fun. My good friend Jason Van Veen introduced me to Aaron McGruder. And Jason Van Veen, I met him shortly after I got out of YA. I was working a job in a shopping center and I met him. He was a young writer and, he kind of took to my personality and I took to his, and, he was telling me how he was writing films and doing stuff. I'm gonna put you in one of my films. I'm like, all right, and it was all fun for me because I wasn't tripping off acting or comedy. I'm a rapper right now, but I'm just doing this because rapping ain't popping. I'm just doing some shit. I'm just doing some shit because that's my friend and I'm having fun with my friends. But again, I'm glad that he had the foresight and the vision to, help groom me and get me to another position.
Yeah. One thing that I admire about you is the fact that you're still a person. You're still a neighborhood person, like someone I could tell I could have some real conversation with. But you're also maneuvering this game of Hollywood and entertainment, and it just makes me think about speaking of the Boondocks. Aaron would end up like having this like back and forth it seems with the show. Was he gonna be working with it or not? What was your reaction when you found out that Aaron was, moving away from no longer being on the Boondocks or whatever went down in that situation?
I was, I'm definitely disappointed, but I'm some of that stuff is beyond my pay grade to really speak on, and I just say, Aaron, you got to do what's best for him, and again, he's standing on top of his integrity. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know who's right or who's wrong or what the rift may be behind. I'm just thankful to be part of it, and whatever, God bless all parties involved. Again, just to be part of something so amazing, whether it's short-lived or not. A lot of this shit is going down in pop culture history. And I'm just happy to be a part of it. And, again, I'm disappointed to see things like the Boondocks go because it's such an amazing show. The Boondocks is timeless. You could have started the Boondocks whenever it was it debuted, and it could have still been running every year, and it would have never not been relevant.
It's needed now.
It's needed.
Yeah.
But, again, whatever and Aaron has to do. That's much respect to him. Again, I'm just thankful for being a part of it.
Now with the skits that you guys are doing online, and even what you may know around the Boondocks, were there jokes that we didn't get to see? Were there people that y'all cracked on that? Because the Boondocks, if you can recall, they did the BET riff,
Yeah.
and Aaron got in trouble, and they made a big deal about that. I think Tyler Perry ended up like trying to allegedly get things taken off the air.
Yeah.
Were there any other people that we never got a chance to see?
Honestly, not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. Again, I don't have a whole lot of extensive knowledge in regards to, what was on the cutting room floor, what didn't make it to the screen on the Boondocks or whatever. So I can't tell you, but as far as I know, ain't nobody really he ripped into like that,
Yeah.
But, man.
Now, one thing is that you were doing these skits online, and you've been doing work. Even people might even notice you from All Def Digital. So you somebody that knows how to do like skits as well. My question to you is, why we never saw you on Wildin' Out yet, or have you done Wildin' Out?
I don't know. Why you ain't seen me on Wildin' Out, Nick? Nick, why ain't on Wildin' Out, Nick? I don't know, Nick. Why you call me, Nick? Call me, Nick. Nick busy having kids. He ain't thinking about me, man. No, I don't know. I think at some point, something came across the line for me to do Wildin' Out, but my agency at the time wasn't feeling it. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what it's called. Maybe they wanted, more credit or whatever, or wanted for me to have more credit on the show. I don't know, because they do Wildin' Out a certain kind of way. You know what I mean? Where you got your guests.
You might
and
be
you
a
got
floater.
I don't want to be I don't think they wanted me to be a floater. They wanted me to be a guest, and I don't know. I think I should have been a guest. Well, I ain't a guest, Nick.
You
Nick,
don't think you
call
could
your
have
boy,
worked?
Nick.
Sometimes the politics, you gotta work your way, be the floater to the gas.
Absolutely, but I think at the time, again, I was working with one of the top agencies
Got you.
in the business, and I think, I was at the height of Black Jesus's.
Got you. That makes
Things they
sense.
figured like
Okay.
yeah, right now I float like a motherfucker. I float like a motherfucker. Nigga, hit me, Nick.
Man, speaking of Black Jesus, you were able to do that for how many seasons?
3.
3 seasons. And it seemed like that was just probably a great time in your life, because the expectation wasn't that it was never going to go to TV in your mind. You just was having fun.
Absolutely.
So, a question like I just had with Wildin' Out is, why did Black Jesus come to an end? I feel like you would know that, because you were Black Jesus.
You know what? I wish I knew.
Oh, wow.
I wish I knew. I have no idea, man. I don't know why things were done the way they were done. Again, we shot season 1 in 2014. I think season 2 late 2015, and we shot season 3 2018. And I like, why all the time in between? I don't understand, brother. From what I did know, the show was great. It was a lot of great support. It was doing good on the network. I don't know. I didn't get a call. No one called me or sat me down and said, hey, it's canceled or we're not doing. Nobody. It's just after season 3, we wrapped and I heard nothing else. I don't know, brother. And I swear to God, people be asking me, and I really wish I can give y'all some game, but I don't fucking know.
Because in our minds, we feel like, okay, they do sit you down or they do make a call and let you know. But from the stories that I hear, it just seems very like moving on to the next.
Moving on to the next. It wasn't a series finale, season 3.
Wow.
From what I understand, it wasn't a series finale. It was a season finale. As the last episode or whatever.
Right.
So again, I don't know. I'm still holding hope that, I see that they don't necessarily shoot seasons in succession on a schedule like that. So maybe they'll call me again
Bring
for a
it back.
season 4 or whatever. I don't know. And a lot of people, I don't think it had anything to do with the untimely death of John or Charlie as much as, whatever their own reasons was. And shout out to John and Charlie and their families. God bless them all. I love you. But I wanted to say this in regards to that. People gonna ask, how you gonna do it without John? How you gonna do it without Charlie? God bless their soul. You can never replace those guys. What I will say is this: you look at life like this. On Black Jesus, it was an apartment building. Somebody moved out. Move your old enemy move out, you get a new enemy move in, and it don't have to be nothing like John or Lloyd or Vic's character. They can be some whole different types of people. So it's a lot of stuff that can be done. So Adult Swim, please, while I'm still fly, fine, and fabulous, let's get this cracking and get this season 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 through 20 going. Come on.
Right. Now, you being a representative of Los Angeles, but more in particular, the Los Angeles comedy scene, LA, you just mentioned two, as far as like two comedians that we lost. We lost John Witherspoon, Charlie Murphy, that were part of Black Jesus. But going into the LA comedy scene, you start losing a few brothers as well. One in particular that we know of on our platform was Teddy Ray. I think that kind of like really, really messed a lot of people up because from my encounters with Teddy, he just seemed like very genuine, very good. Like his spirit was always up. Like, let's talk about like just the fact of losing Teddy and how that has impacted you since.
Man, fuck you, Teddy Ray. I love that nigga so much, man. My nigga, damn, man, my nigga died. He fucked a lot of shit up, man. He fucked a lot of shit up in a good way. I mean, I had a whole change of heart about the whole way I was living my life, the way I approached life and everything, man. That nigga was such a beautiful soul. He was, man, I love him to death. You get the sound, don't get the sound by wrong. When I say fuck you, Teddy Ray, it's like, my nigga, man, fuck you, man. I love you, man. God damn, my nigga, man. Oh, man, losing Teddy, man, really, I've lost people in my life and I don't want to make it like anybody is more or less, but this one weighed heavy
Why is that?
on me because Teddy had such an infectious spirit. So he was such a genuine, golden, great-hearted person, such a talent, so amazing and just so happy. I can only thrive to be that way. Teddy was a light of a whole lot of people's eye in a whole lot of people's life, and he didn't carry himself like that. Like he knew that, Teddy he was a battery for a lot of niggas' backs, man. Teddy was the ground wire for your electricity. He was the spark for that shit. Teddy was amazing, man, and I hate he gone, man. Fuck you, my nigga, why you go, man? God damn, but at the same time, man, it's like his death has brought some amazing things. Again, I've come to the realization about some personal things in my life. Teddy's death has definitely brought me closer to Kamira. That's my girl. I love the shit out of Kamira. You know what I'm saying? We was already tight before Teddy died, but it's like, man, Kamira, my girl, man. I love the shit out of Kamira White, man. Her and Precious, man, and my homegirls, man. And I know I'm rambling, man, but Teddy, man, I love that nigga, man.
Do you remember how you first found out about it?
Yeah. I was out of town, man. Kamira called me hysterical, man. Kamira called me. She told me, I was fucked up. It was fucked up this shit to hear. And nigga was, oh man. Kamira told me.
Okay. I would want to, we don't have to say on this too much, but there's always been like just conversations about how he passed. Did you ever get like a clear answer on how Teddy like officially passed away for just people on record? Wow.
I didn't get, I heard what other people heard. I never heard about an autopsy or what came from the autopsy. Just, again, I may be wrong, but just based on what I hear, based on what I've heard and been told, I don't believe it to be foul play. I believe it was, Teddy was an angel and God was ready for him. From what I understand, Teddy, I learned after his death that he'd been dealing with a couple of health issues that were kind of concerning. And Teddy was a man like most men, like most black men. We hurt and we ain't gonna say nothing. You know what I'm saying? which is very unfortunate. My nigga, you know, he was dealing with some health issues, and people were talking about, oh, he died in the pool, he was drowned. No, I heard Teddy could swim like a fish. So I think it just happened to be his time, you know, why in the pool. From what I understand from a close friend of mine, you know, Teddy had been exercising. He liked to do water exercises. And he had been going to the gym, but it was hard for him to work out because people, hey, you know, again, that's a vulnerable moment. You know what I'm saying? You dealing with your weight and things of that nature. You know, you want supportive people around you. Not to say that people weren't supportive, but they probably wasn't giving him the space he needs. Because, you know, people want to talk to him, look at him, take pictures and shit. You know, so again, that was the reason he got the spot. From what I understand, the reason he got the spot where he was at, the pool, so he can go, you know, swim and, you know, do his water exercises for, you know, and he just happened to be in the pool, and that's when God come for you, man, he don't care what you're doing. He don't care what you're doing. When he comes for you, he don't care what you're doing. So there that is there.
I appreciate that. For I didn't hear anything. You kind of brought some context onto the pool situation, because a lot of us was like, okay, why is he?
Why is a nigga in the pool? You know what I'm saying?
Maintenance man found him, and it felt like what was going on.
I would tell you, my homegirl Kabira said, bitch, Teddy died like a rock star in a motherfucking pool in Palm Springs, bitch. In a fly ass swimming pool like a rock star, bitch.
Man.
Love you, my nigga. Hell, I love that nigga, man.
And kind of pivoting out of that, you know, you and Teddy used to do a lot of like stuff together, like interviews. You guys did our show, and of course, all the things that you guys did were all deaf. It makes me kind of think about just like media and how that has like grown, like digital media.
Yeah.
Right now, there seems to be politics in your city about a platform, no jumper. You have any comment on like how you see things playing out right now? It seems like some of the guys there are now leaving, and it makes me think about like just white-owned media companies that capture black culture. Like, what's your stance on these things?
Well, you know, I actually did the Sharp Tank before over there. Shout out to Pimp Sharp. That's my nigga. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, No Jumper, you know, they had a hell of a platform going on. But, you know, I don't want to evade the question, you know, how do I feel about white companies, white people, you know, telling and expressing black media.
Conversation as well. And,
yeah, man, it you know, again, that's a touchy thing, man. I do kind of feel some kind of way. It's I don't mind if you for the culture, you're for the culture, but it's a way that you do it. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what color you are. If you're for the culture, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. And the culture, you know, is by and large black, but it's the culture. And if you're for the culture, you're for the culture. I don't care what color you are. I do sometimes feel that some of these people can exploit the culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's certain things, you know, again, some of these people on these platforms and of non-black descent, you know, again, I don't mind you covering the news and doing the news, but certain things I'm against, like perpetuating beef and shit. You get one rapper on here today and the rapper he beefing with tomorrow, and you let them air all their grievances out, and you know what I'm saying, they doing all this shit over the airwaves, and the gunshots go off in the hood, but you live in goddamn Calabasas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You get, you know, if you gonna do it, you need to be down here with us. Everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody want to be a nigga. You know what I'm saying? You want to report all our dirt, and you know, again, I appreciate you for uplifting and spotlighting the talent, but you want to spotlight the dirt and the beef and the disdain just the same. But when the beat downs are administered and the gunshots go off, you're nowhere around. So I don't like that. I think that journalists, all of them, I don't think that we should talk about beef. I don't think that, you know, motherfuckers look for clickbait and bullshit so much, you know, you want to profile strife, beef, exposing people and all this old weird ass shit. You shouldn't even talk about that. You know, I'm from a generation where, again, gangsters don't do that, my nigga. Gangsters, all this old talking and airing out, man. Look here, if I ever got beef with anybody, I'm gonna say on camera, God bless him. May God bless that man. Because, you know, when it's really beef, man, what's understood ain't got to be explained. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that shit is being exploited and perpetuated and on a large scale by people who are not of melanated descent.
Yeah.
So, you know, but it's the people of melanated descent that are suffering from the violence and the drawbacks of said.
It's definitely because I won't avoid just even our doing at times when we cover certain things. Because you said, like, you know, people watch that type of content. It is like click worthy moments. So at times it's hard to kind of like, you running a business. You know, we done positive stories. This is just for people I'm sure might be on the tip of their head about thinking about comedy hype. And it's like, we done positive stories, but people rarely even look at that.
Right. And
So that's
and unfortunately that's the age we live in. Cause some niggas don't want a feel good story. Niggas don't want to
Unless it's
see
like
niggas
daytime
getting
TV
along.
or something like that.
Right. And that's just so unfortunate. But you know, a lot of times you gotta understand that the media, the culture is driven by the youth. The youth is, you know, growing and blazing the trail, but the youth don't understand, you know, you youngsters just living in the moment and be mad and doing shit. You don't see 20 years ahead of you because you ain't had 20 years behind you good. You know what I'm saying? So I say that to say, man, I think we need to be a little more mindful and a little slower to react to shit, because a lot of times you seen it time and time again, man. Motherfuckers say some slick shit and be mad. This is that person beefing, and 2 months later, 2 years later, now they friends again, or they want to get back together, or what the fuck ever, man. Shit happen, man. You know what I'm saying? Stop over sensationalizing everything, man. You know what I'm saying? People are not gonna get along. There are gonna be problems, but a lot of times problems can be rectified if them two people talking, but it's always 20 people on each side perpetuating the bullshit. Now it's like, fight. Nigga, them two niggas didn't even want to fight, but it's the 20 people around them, fight. 20 people be in the media, these platforms, fight. You know, don't fight, man. Go holler at that nigga, man. It ain't even that serious, man.
You got some legendary moments, and I think there's one in particular that some people even watching this haven't been familiar with. Talking about, I don't know, beef, or I think about John Morant when he waved the gun on camera. I think about Slink Johnson pointing a gun at the crowd. We gotta talk about this photo. It's like, and then of course it floats on a timeline in black and white, and it just looks like, what was going on? Why was Slink Johnson pointing a gun at a comedy crowd? And then, according to you, and we can clarify that too, you were banned from the Comedy Store because of this.
Yeah.
Let's take, like, when did the idea come? What was a joke? Was the gun real? So many questions.
All right, this was about 2015, maybe about 2015, 2016, I'm not sure. Around the time Drake had a song, Just Hold On, We're Going Home. I made a parody of that song with All Def Digital called it was called Got Crept On and Followed Home, about robbing a nigga. And so, you know, it went, I got my 9 on you. My nigga, don't make me squeeze. I want your watch, ring, and your jewelry, and all your cheese. Don't make me murder you or leave a scar so deep. I want your watch, ring, and your jewelry, and all your cheese. And all that was, I did a video for that. It's on YouTube too. But all it was is I performed that song during my set, and I whipped out a replica firearm, you know what I'm saying, to deliver more of a punch to the song. And, you know, to be honest with you, I did that one time. I only wanted to do it then. That was a calculated move. I never did it again, never wanted to do it again. I only wanted to do it once so it'll go down in Hollywood lore, and I'm proud to say that it has. It was a replica firearm. Do not attempt no shit like that. It was a time in LA where you know, shit always kind of be crazy, but it was like before the rash of all the public shootings and things of that nature. And actually, it was before someone got killed in that same club. Right. Somebody got chased into and killed. Nobody killed them in the club.
Red Grant
at that Red Grant night. Shout on Tuesday night. Shout out to Red Grant. You know, but his comedy night, some shit had happened, and I guess a guy ran from somewhere else into the club and got chased in the club and got shot. But I did my bit before that. And I just say that to say, you know, again, I knew what I was doing in regards to I just wanted it to live in Hollywood lore. It's nothing that I ever do again, but it was a funny bit at the time because I whipped out that blabber. I whipped
What
the
was the
blower
crowd's
out.
reaction?
Oh man, the few, it was a few melanin deficient people in the crowd, you know what I'm saying, that seemed a little bit perturbed by my actions. However, I promoted real good that show, and
Yeah.
I had a good amount of people in the crowd that were there for me. And you know, again, my real fans, my real people, my real supporters, family, they understand my type of comedy. So when they heard the song and saw the blammer, they knew it, they started laughing
I'm
immediately.
just trying to process. So you didn't run it past the club? You didn't
No.
say, hey, I'm about to. You knew they. Did you have a feeling that they might have been like, don't do that?
Yeah, but that's why I didn't say nothing.
You rather just ask forgiveness, not
Yeah,
permission.
yeah. And I think, you know, shortly after I got off the stage that night, I was informed that I was to leave and not come back.
Wow.
You know, I didn't rush to leave. I wasn't escorted out or no shit like that. They like, yo, get out, nigga. Hey, they don't want you here no more. I'm like, oh, damn. You know, so that's right after the show. I'm talking to people, slapping hands, laughing and shit.
Right.
Before I could leave, before I could actually leave the club, they was like, oh, don't worry about it. I forget who told me that. I don't remember if it was anybody that worked directly in the club or the host that night or whatever. I don't remember, but I was like, yo, they don't want you here no more. It was somebody that had something to do with it. But by the time I got out there, it was like, oh, don't trip, you good, you good, you good.
Okay. You been back to the Comedy Store since?
Oh, hell yeah, I just did it
Okay.
2 Thursdays ago, last Thursday. I just did, shout out to Nichelle Murdoch and Crack 'em Up Thursdays. Hey, if you in LA, make sure you check out Crack 'em Up Thursdays, Thursday night in the Belly Room at the Comedy Store.
I wonder, I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate on the side of, you know, you got this thing with John Morant happening.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes they kind of villainize us, you know, when it comes to certain things. And in this situation with you, I wonder if Carrot Top had a gun. You know, Carrot Top has a lot of props. And I wonder if they would have treated Carrot Top that way. And
No, Carrot Top would have got a residency off it.
right.
They'd have given Carrot Top a residency. But it's so much of a stigma that comes with, you know, I don't want to make it about black and white, but it's so much of a stigma that comes with being an urban individual, urban type. You can see a picture of a black man holding a gun and a picture of a white man holding the same gun, same pose, same position.
Different energies.
It's just different energies, and it's going to be always looked at differently. As far as John Morant, God bless the young dude. He was just up clowning around with a little blower.
What do you think
Again,
about the size of his gun? Or the
that was the joke. I don't know if niggas was mad that he had a gun or he had a little bitty small little, you know what I'm talking about, the little fun gun. You know what I'm talking about? That ain't a stun gun, that's a fun gun.
Yeah.
You know.
One of the conversations, at least internally at Comedy Hype, we just been discussing about, like, you know, his treatment. I personally have seen it kind of like a public whipping, if
Public
you will.
women, they going overboard with that weird shit. Cause a lot of them other athletes have done way worse. John Morant was he even in the room with somebody? He was just, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the case, it was a dumb move on John Morant's behalf.
I
First
can
of
agree
all,
with that.
I think all these young athletes, somebody need to make. I think the NBA, NFL, all these people need to have a certain training for these guys. Again, you are in the public spotlight. You are being scrutinized. And I don't think people don't understand the degree of scrutiny that you're going to receive being in the public eye, especially being of that level. And unfortunately, my man, some stupid shit that you used to do before you were famous, you're going to have to sacrifice it for all this money and fame you get.
I can agree. I think my stance was, I think if you're going to give a young man, especially from urban connection, that amount of money, we need to get you in a program to get you prepared for this lifestyle.
mentorship. And you know, John Morant's father's in his life. Shout out to John Morant's father. I love him for doing that, for raising his boy. People have shit to say about him and man, shut the fuck up. That man raised his child. And he's a young father. He's still a young man. On top of that, John Morant's father is of the hip hop generation. So suck my dick. That man raised his child. We all make mistakes. Shut the fuck up. He raised a well-rounded young nigga, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? And y'all need to stop. You need to stop talking all this shit. Shut the fuck up. Where your daddy at, bitch?
Now, I kind of was floating online, and I saw this saying slap, something like a pimp.
Yeah. I'm something like a pimp, man. I'm having my certificate in about 3 more weeks. I'm going hard and be certified in a little bit.
Now, I'm gonna kind of tie this in with Ja Morant, young people making decisions. Let's just say that. Now, recently, Bernie Mac's TV daughters, they're relatively young of age. I'm talking about Baby Girl and Vanessa on the show. The actual actresses have now joined OnlyFans. What would Slink Johnson say? What's your thoughts about that? Like, just hearing that, you know?
Well, as the father of 3 daughters, I wouldn't necessarily want that for my daughters. Again, I would want, but you know, this is a different generation. This is a different age. This is a different time. You know what I'm saying? The envelope is being pushed. Is it tasteful? You know what I'm saying? First of all, are you doing it because you want to? That's my main thing as far as girls and women, and my girls in particular. I want to raise them to be the best versions of themselves, and therefore I'll feel comfortable knowing that whatever they're doing because they want to, and not because they're doing it under duress or being coaxed into doing some shit they don't really want to do. So whatever I don't have to like it. But if that's what you want to do and that makes you happy, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got something to say. Well, give them some money then. Give them some money. You know, if they not doing it because they want to and they enjoy it, they might need the money. You got something to say, give them some money or shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? That's, you know, everybody got some shit to say. You know, I don't know how Bernie Mac will feel about it at being their TV father. Or, you know, again.
Because there was that whole thing with, remember, Cosby and Lisa Bonet. When Lisa Bonet, did a magazine, was naked, and that's where Cosby was like, yo, he kind of like slowing her down a bit. I guess it kind of seems like to be a similar situation, but yeah, we don't have Bernie
I
Mac.
think it had, when Lisa Bonet did that magazine spread, I think the Cosby Show is still at its height.
Gotcha.
Now we talking about, you know, a great show, Bernie Mac show.
Right.
You know, again, it's been off the air for a while, and God bless Bernie Mac. So he's gone. These girls have grown up. This is something whole different now.
Gotcha.
It ain't like,
So you can relate to Cosby if you was Cosby and your TV daughter did something, you know, out the way like that.
well, you know, I can, but I can say no because it's a different time. You know, censorship was different. You know what I'm saying? For lack of better words, the world was more wholesome at that time. If you know, for lack of better words, you know what I'm saying? Things are racier now, and it's just the times we live in. These girls are getting naked, and if they are posing with a bikini, at least be happy that they got a bikini on. Because I see these girls shoving whole garden instruments up their motherfucking orifice. They doing all types of amazing things with their bodies that, you know, might not be very becoming of what we believe, you know, pure women should do. But hey, that's what they doing. And so if all she doing is posing some lingerie, showing you a little ass crack of the shadow, you know, if it's done tastefully, it's done tastefully. It's kind of like I've been seeing people talking shit about Sierra recently in a little sheer dress. And then come to find out it was a sheer party. Why y'all ain't bashing the white bitches that was in the sheer dress? The white bitches was there showing the flat cheeks in the sheer dress. Why, you know what I'm saying? Why does, you know, not Rihanna, why does Sierra have to be ostracized for that? But again, that's just the world we live in. It's a double standard for everybody, for men and women, black people, white people. It's a double standard for everybody. And unfortunately, it's real, but that's just life.
Kind of talking to you, it made me feel like this could be like a new age Cosby show with Slink Johnson as the father.
Yeah.
But like he got some other perspective.
Absolutely.
Like a new age, like, you know, he might smoke a little bit, drink a little bit, but go give you a real honest talk. Now, in that theme, what is Slink Johnson currently telling his children when it comes down to the use of pronouns? You in Los Angeles, that's a big thing right now across the nation. But in Los Angeles, you know, that's one of the cities, just like Atlanta, that's known to have like a known transgender community. What's your takeaway on the pronoun uses?
I honestly try to stay away from those type of conversations. I don't know.
Yeah,
As
yeah,
far as I'm concerned, you he or she, and if I don't know you, you what you look like.
yeah.
So if you a he that look like a she, I'm gonna call you a her.
You're right.
And if you're a she that look like a he, I'm gonna call you a sir. I don't know.
Right.
I don't, I don't get caught up in that motherfucker. I identify as a raisin. Bitch, you's a bitch. You's a wrinkled bitch. Hello, ma'am. You're not a raisin, but whatever the case, people can be what they want to be, man. But I'm not really trying to think about it too much. Unfortunately, it's a lot of people who live their life different or adverse to what you think is perfect, and that's just what it is. And again, I ain't gotta take care of you, nigga. That's you. Go do your shit.
Yeah.
You
Because
like.
right now it's a big conversation around Dwayne Wade's son and boy, girl. It's a huge thing.
I never tell that man you can't tell a man or you can't tell a person what to do with their children. I just know that that's not what I would want for mine. I believe personally, personally, I think that's too young to identify. I'm not gonna shit on him what his aspirations of being,
Right.
but I do think that childhood is your trial period.
Okay.
Be what you are, be what you were when you were born, at least till you're an adult.
Gotcha.
Because your mind gonna change. I knew cats that was sweet in elementary school that, looking back, I'm like, oh, that nigga was sweet as fuck. But nigga got older and turned into a pussy killer. All man, lumberjack nigga, you know what I'm saying? So I just say that to say,
That's a good point.
I just say that to say you let them live and let them develop. You know what I'm saying? Dwayne Wade got a clip talking about how he played in his mama's shoes and shit like that. Now, I ain't never did no shit like that, but it's not unheard of, And I believe that children we're born biologically one thing or the other. But I think we still have to be groomed into what our role is in society based on biology. You know what I'm saying? Again, I don't know. Everybody raises a child different. God bless you. I don't care how you raise your child, except just raise them to be a good person. Raise your child to not rob and kill and do mine wrong, and I'm cool. I don't give a fuck what they do with their life. But personally, for me, I got children. I want to raise my boys doing boy shit. We're going to play with trucks. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to teach you how to fix shit. You know what I'm saying? You little girl,
I will
I don't know.
I can understand that. In having these conversations, it makes me at times just like wonder, are we just not getting in our are we not getting out of our comfort zone? Does that make sense? Like, it seems like I'm the same way. If I have a young son, I want him to be a young man. And I kind of reflect on why is that? Why am I feeling that compared to somebody else seeing it totally different? So I just wonder if it's just us being in our own comfort zone of not being like.
Black men, we sexually really fucked up dating back to slavery.
Okay.
The castrations and all that shit, I think is psychologically fucked us up for generations. That's why everything is no homo. That's why niggas all walk around holding their dicks, because we don't want nobody to cut that motherfucker off, We and I believe that as a point of enlightenment that we as humans should strive to reach, where gender, race, color, all that shit shouldn't be a concern anymore. Are you a good person?
Right.
Are you worthy? Are you dependable? Right. Are you trustworthy? Are you dependable? Are you caring? Are you comforting to others? Are you of service to others? That's all that should really count. You know what I mean? But we have all these other things and issues and hang-ups about us that prevent us from seeing such enlightenment.
What is Slink Johnson's stance on reparations? Is it something you waiting on, looking forward to, think it's old?
It's definitely old. Run me my shit ASAP. Whatever 40 acres and a mule equates to in 2023, or whenever the date is that it is given, run me my shit. Will I see it in my lifetime? I doubt it. I hope that my grandkids may see it, but I doubt it.
What does it look like to you? Is it just like cash out?
Yeah, I mean, there's a variety of things. It's a cash out. There's a variety of things you can do. Cash out home loans, fix niggas' credits. Hey man, how about this? The descendants of African slaves don't have to pay taxes for 5 generations. How many generations have been since slavery? We shouldn't have to pay taxes because y'all owe us. You don't have to give us the money. Just hey, let's don't pay taxes no more and give us some shit.
Right.
Like scot-free. Like, how about give up them acres for real? You don't have to equate to what 2023 is. It's plenty of space in America, in the plains. It might be in Butte, Montana somewhere. I don't know. It might be whatever, but
Right.
give niggas them 40 plots, give them 40 acres and a goddamn Chevy truck. You know what I'm saying?
Why a Chevy truck?
It's American. You know what I'm saying? It's American, baby. Nothing says America like Chevy. You know what I'm saying? I think we definitely, because you know they like to dance around and shit. Again, I don't like talking about politics because I'm not well versed in politics. But from what I do know from social studies and my civics classes, is all these other ethnic groups that have been wronged by the United States have received some type of monetary compensation. And you dancing around our fucking money. You dancing around giving us our fucking money. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, I'm kind of concerned with how would that work? If you give a majority of the population of ADOS a certain amount of money, all it's gonna do is drive everything else up the roof.
I was gonna ask you what you would do with yours.
Yeah, you got 5 million now, but now a carton of eggs is $200.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
You then gonna try to figure out how to get it back.
They absolutely they're getting it
Or
back.
we gonna give it to them too, cause you know.
Oh,
Let's keep it
absolutely.
real. You know, it ain't like we always spending our money with each other.
Absolutely. We gonna give it right to fuck back. We gonna give it right to fuck back. But you know, to each his own, whatever they do. I just think, you know, giving us some money would be cool, but if you can find it in your wallet to do that, why don't you just be right with it? Stop all this redlining, give niggas home and business loans, you know what I'm saying? Pour some money into our schools. I believe that's what matters more. Fuck repairing a broken man. Let's make sure these kids don't get broke. You know what I'm saying? I believe, you know, you ain't even got to give me reparations, man. How about this? How about you pay our kids to go to school? How about this? Give, in the urban inner city, hope is bleak. You know what I'm saying? The future is bleak for a lot of young people. I know for myself, when I was in high school, I had no idea being a grown-ass man my age. Now, I don't know what life would be. Life is bleak. Children need incentive. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the ghetto. That's why we live and die the way we do. We spend our money so fast because shit, we don't expect to live. We don't expect to see the future like that. So I'm living right now. We need to teach our kids that you got something coming. Hey, how about we pay these kids to go to school? We give them all 5 bands. Every year you pass school, you got 5 bands waiting. Now you can take your 5 bands or we can put it in the bank for you. So by the time you get out of high school, you got 60 bands waiting for you. Provided you came to school, you did what you were supposed to do, you did good grades. We're gonna hire the best fucking teachers. We're gonna pay these teachers top dollar because we're gonna get the best teachers that really care and teach our children, give our children the best chance of life that they can get. And that'll be better than any reparations you can give any living human right now. Do it for my children. I got 5 children. Can do something that's gonna help guarantee their future, help guarantee their success. I'm on that more than anything, paying the kids. Pay the kids to go to school. Imagine if you paying these kids, the parents would be urging these motherfuckers. We need that money, baby. Take your ass to school. You know what I'm saying? Getting them there, making sure they do what they supposed to, they behaving right. I believe that the power should go back to the parent. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's a lot of shit. We was talking about reparations, man. John, you know,
It's fun. No, you giving us solutions, things to think about. You know, just overall with you being in the game, you know, how do you advise upcoming entertainers that are trying to keep their nose clean, stay out of trouble, but at the same time, keep it real?
It's easy. Keep your nose clean, stay out of trouble, and keep it real, nigga. Be yourself, man. Look here, man, let them come to you. Don't do no goofy ass shit to try to garner no attention. If it ain't your natural ability or your natural talent or your natural personality, don't go off doing no goofy song and dance to try to make motherfuckers get your attention. Ladies, if that ain't in you to show your body and, you know, don't try to just go get sexy to try to get people to, look here, keep doing your craft and let the motherfuckers come to you. And trust me when I tell you, the motherfuckers gonna come to you. Just keep doing what you're doing. It ain't no timeline on it. I can't tell you, 6 months you're gonna be no, but you just stay true to yourself, be right with people, make good relationships, be real with people, don't gossip. What another motherfucker do, where they stick their dick or what they get stuck in their ass, that's on them. Don't gossip. And just be a good person and be just genuine with people. And again, the cream rises to the top. Unfortunately, a lot of times we feel like the nice guy finishes last, but I don't believe that. The nice guy might finish last, but trust me when I tell you, he finished big, bitch. He still get a prize.
Mr. Slink Johnson, that was your first one-on-one with Hype Plus, aka Comedy Hype. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate y'all, man. And follow me on all your social networks. Or more importantly, follow me on Cash App, $Slink Johnson. Watch Sellies on Amazon right now. Be looking for I Left My Heart in Colombia, movie coming soon. I Left My Heart in Colombia and Dirty Cops LA. Pimps and Kinfolk. Watch Pimps and Kinfolk once a month on goddamn it Roku. And I got a battered baby daddy self-defense class that I do on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at the Slauson Swap Meet on the West Side parking lot.